All right, everyone. Welcome to the screen share view. Thank you so much for joining me on this webinar. Really excited to have you. I'm not going to lie to you and be like all the other people out there who are telling you that this is a live webinar. This is a recorded webinar like everyone else's. But I would really appreciate it if you stayed to the end and treated it like a live webinar because I want you to get the most out of it. This presentation is all about helping you get passive income. So I'm going to be teaching you how I made my passive income business, and I want you to consider just copying my business because it works. Just a couple kind of housekeeping rules. One is I want you to kind of stay focused here, really focus on eliminating any distractions. Try to watch this from a desktop computer or a bigger screen if possible. You're going to get a lot more value out of that with the screen share components. And I have no idea how long it's going to take me. I tend to ramble, but I'm going to do my best to pack as much value as humanly possible into 90 minutes or so. That's my goal. So make sure you're in a position where you can watch as much as you can. And if you aren't able to finish the webinar, definitely hit pause if you can, or make sure you email me to get a replay, or we'll find a way to get you the webinar again. But I promise you I'm going to pack as much value as I can in 90 minutes so that you can get off and running. And then, of course, like every other webinar, I'll show you how you can fast track your success with my paid program. But let's focus on you right now. In 2000, at the time I'm recording this webinar, it's mid-December right now. So mid-December 2018. So this year was a crazy year for me simply because I traveled to 18 countries. I made over $600,000, and the most important thing, I worked less than 8 hours every week on client work. And so what I'm about to teach you is how you can copy my business, which is all about passive income. But you will absolutely have to work hard, a lot more than 4 to 8 hours each week, to grow your business. But once you get to a stage of profitability and you have a lot of money coming in, it's easy to kind of outsource and offload some of the time-consuming work so that you can enjoy life. Now, I know there's a lot of bullshit out there, so what I want to do, even though I feel super douchey doing this, is I just want to show you my revenue because everyone says that they make money, and a lot of the times you'll find that people don't actually make that much. They're just trying to tell you that they do. They're trying to generate money from selling a course as opposed to actually, helping a business grow and generating money from them. So let me quickly log into my my accounting software just so you can see. And again, what's my password? All right, so let's look at accounting reports, payments collected, and we're going to go from January 1, 2018 to December 2018, and you can see that each month I charge about 20 clients or so, a few $1,000s a month, which works out to about $620-something thousand. So I'm not bullshitting you. These techniques are tried and tested. I'm not making millions and millions of dollars every year. That's not me. My goal is to make enough money without having to work too hard to enjoy life, which just for me includes traveling and playing golf. So here's my promise to you. I'm going to always be honest with you, and I'm never going to bullshit you. This isn't a sales pitch. This isn't anything. In fact, I am so confident that I'm going to provide a lot of value to you. I'm promising $5,000 worth of value to you. I want this to be the best webinar that you've ever watched. And if you don't feel like you get at least $5,000 worth of value, I will personally make a $100 donation up to $25,000 a year. or I will set up a one-on-one call with you to coach you, or I will give you full access to the Cloud9 Academy, which is my training program for 14 days to make sure that you get a ton of value. So you can just email me directly, nash@nkmedia.ca, if you're not happy with the webinar, but you have to stay to the end. So the one big difference about me and most people is my philosophy. I believe that making money is not about having fun. And it's not about working in a field of expertise or interest, and it's not about figuring out a solution to a client's problem. This goes against things that Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Sam Ovens, all of these people tell you that you need to, at the very least, work in a field of interest. But that's not even what I'm suggesting. This is about, or what I am suggesting, is that you follow a system that focuses on providing real value to businesses, that's very profitable, that you solve a known problem, which is helping these businesses acquire new customers. So their problem is they want to acquire new customers. Your solution is you help them find new customers online. And then this is about you architecting a life that gives you the time, the money, and the location freedom to do whatever you want. So it's not about enjoying what you do. It's about working hard for a year, making $10,000 or more per month in passive income, and then spending that money on whatever you do want to do, whether that's a business in an area of interest, whether it's investing in the stock market, whether it's traveling. I don't care what you do when you get enough passive income. I want you to focus on making money and making that money passively so that you can do what you want. But you have to work hard for at least 6 to 12 months to create passive income. This isn't a get rich quick. This isn't a business where you can turn on a switch and money just comes walking through. You have to really, really work hard over the next 6 to 12 months and follow a system and be deliberate in order to succeed. So, who is this webinar for? It's for caged employees, so people who feel stuck working their job in the rat race. It's for entrepreneurs, so people who want to be their own boss and control their own destiny, but either haven't figured out how yet or kind of haven't gotten started in that regard. And it's also for people who kind of want a side hustle, so people who really want to make more money and continue working their normal job, but do something on the side. And starting an online business is great for that. This is not for people looking to get rich quick. This is not for people who don't want to work hard, especially people who think that, like a month of hard work and they can set up this business that's automated. No, you need to work 6 to 12 months for sure, maybe longer, to even give yourself a chance. So if you're not committed to actually finding this time, money, and location freedom, don't bother wasting your time with this webinar. And it's also, you have to want to profit for not only yourselves but others. My whole philosophy with making money in business is that you actually have to provide value to people. You can't expect, or you can't trick or expect people to pay you money to help them grow if you're not actually helping them grow. So this isn't how to be a sleazy salesperson. This is how to provide real value to real customers and have them kind of eagerly paying you money. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, because I'm probably not too unlike you. I couldn't find a job after I graduated university, so I started working for my parents. My parents are both dentists, and one of my jobs was to help them with their online stuff, but I had no idea how to make websites or do SEO or do Google AdWords. I knew nothing about internet marketing. Unfortunately, I accidentally spent all of the marketing budget on this crappy company who didn't provide us with any value. So I spent all the money, so I had to figure out how to make a website and do the online marketing on my own. So I went onto YouTube and Google and tried to figure it out. So I was working for them for about $1,500 a month. So that works out to about $18,000 a year, and I was living at home with them. But in the first year, I helped them generate over $400,000 in revenue. So they made $400,000 in revenue, paying me $18,000. I basically realized I could just, do the same thing for other dentists. So that was kind of my big aha moment, was that my parents weren't paying me for my time. they were paying me for new patients or results or more revenue. So what I learned was that I could just replicate the same process I used on my parents on other dentists in different cities, and I could charge them all a couple $1,000s a month to manage their marketing. And if I could get 20 dentists to sign up at $2,000 each, that's $40,000 per month. So as long as I was delivering results, it didn't matter how much time I put in. And that was my big aha moment, as well as being able to just replicate a process. What I want to do in this webinar is I want to tell you kind of the exact steps that you need to take to start your own online marketing company and to get to $10,000 a month in passive income. And this is the really important thing that I'm about to show you in the next slide is the sequence. You need to understand the sequence. So first, you need to learn the basics of how you can help a business grow online. And we're going to go into a little bit of that today. Second is you need to learn how to make a website that converts traffic into leads. Third, you need to learn how to drive traffic to that really conversion-focused website. And I'm going to recommend that you use Google, both SEO and Google AdWords. Those three things, I call that the foundation. Those three pieces of information, it should take you several months to kind of become an expert at digital marketing and to learn how to make a website and things like that. But once you have those three skills, then you actually can provide value to a business and you can actually help them grow online. So once you have those three foundational skills, then what you have to do is you actually have to set up your own business. So you set up your marketing agency. You have to get 3 to 5 customers and really help them grow. You actually have to help them make more money so that you can build case studies. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to leverage those case studies or use your results to show other businesses that you can help them too. And at that point, you're going to have to scale. You're going to want to scale your agency to 5 figures a month. So between 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 per month. And then once you get to a certain level, you can outsource and offload work. So for example, my agency does, between $50,000 and $60,000 a month. So it's not like I own this crazy $1 million per month agency. I have 20 customers or so who pay me $2,000 to $5,000 each, and I make about $50,000 to $60,000 a month. But then what I do is I pay a few people to manage different components of my customers' marketing, but it only costs me, let's say, $15,000 to $20,000. So I'm making $40,000 or $30,000 to $40,000 every month without really working at all because I've outsourced and I've offloaded the time-consuming work. So that's the process of going from no knowledge and no money all the way up to outsourcing and offloading your work and having a 5-figure passive income business, 5-figure per month passive income business. Now, what this webinar is really all about. So let me go back here. If you're starting your own business, my recommendation is that you follow those steps on the screen right there and you start your own online business. And you are going to have to go out and do the research on how to build a website and how to help a business grow online. So this is all part of your journey. You're going to have to use Google, use YouTube, use the resources available at your disposal to figure out how to start your own business. But what I want to do in this webinar is I want to show you the 3 biggest mistakes and frustrations that people have, and I want to make sure that you don't make those 3 mistakes. This is going to fast track your success to making lots of money passively, and if you don't make these mistakes, and if you do kind of execute properly, I'm going to save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in mistakes and in time. And I'm gonna my goal is for you to get a ton of value out of this webinar. So let's jump right into it. And just if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna make sure you don't make the same mistakes. I'm showing you close to a decade of experience, millions of dollars of revenue. I've helped my customers generate over $76 million worth of value. I know what I'm talking about in this regard when it comes to starting a passive income business from starting an online marketing agency, and I really want you to stick around. I also have my Cloud9 Academy, which teaches you how to do all of this stuff. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a promo code or tell you how you can get a discounted offer at that if that's something you're interested in. But let's forget about the academy for now, and let's talk about making sure that you don't make the 3 big mistakes. So you got the 3 kind of primary things you need to focus on when you're starting a company is you need to make sure that you've picked the right vertical or the right niches or industries, whatever you want to call it, where the businesses are actively spending money to grow, and like that money should be spent on Google. So finding businesses where Google can help them. Finding industries where Google can help them. The next thing you need to do is within those industries, you need to work with the right people, right? You can't just work with any business in the selected vertical. You need to pick the right businesses. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. And then finally, you need to learn how to measure results so that you can leverage them. So you need to be able to say, basically create a system. So for me, it's with dentists. So my industry is dentistry. My customers, I have like a list of criteria within the dental industry of the types of customers I work with. So for example, I work with cosmetic dentists and general dentists, but I don't work with specialists or with like children's dentists, right? So you have to pick your dream customers. I don't work with startups. I only work with businesses who generate over $500,000 worth of revenue to a few million. So you got to understand who your dream customer is and who you can help most. And then, of course, you have to be able to leverage results. Okay, so the first problem that most people make is they pick the wrong verticals. I'm going to interchangeably use vertical, niches, whatever I say. What I'm trying to make sure you do is you pick the right industries. So there's 3 criteria that you need to use to make sure you pick the right industry. The first thing you need to do is you need to sell to what's called a B2C business or a business to consumer business. So dentists is good. Some lawyers like personal law, like family law, labor employment, those types of lawyers, personal injury, personal accounting, things where the business is selling to a consumer. I don't want you to be working with business to business businesses where, for example, you're selling software or sales solutions or things like that, because it's a completely different sales process. So one is focus on business to consumer businesses. The second thing I want you to focus on is where I want you to make sure the short-term value of a new customer exceeds the acquisition cost. So we're going to go into that. And then the next thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the acquisition cost of a new customer is less than 10% of the lifetime value. Now, you're probably thinking, what the freaking hell does all that stuff mean? So let's jump right into it. B2C, business to consumer. You want to make sure you pick industries that sell to people, not businesses. Pretty straightforward. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that the short-term value, you need to know how much a customer is going to spend in the short term. So short-term value, I abbreviate that STV. It's the amount of money the average consumer spends in the short term. Now, the short term is an arbitrary amount of time, but I typically recommend using a year. So throughout the presentation, I'm going to use dentistry as an example. So the average dental patient who is looking for a dentist will go to the dentist twice a year. So once for a checkup and once for a cleaning. So those are both around $150 each for the average dentist. Plus, some people need like fillings or cosmetic dental care, or a little bit of restorative care, like if you need a cavity filled, etc. So we can say that the average patient, average new patient to a dentist is roughly $500, okay? Now, the acquisition cost is how much a business invests to acquire a new customer. So what we want to do is we want to kind of figure out how much it costs to basically buy a customer. And the way we're going to do that is by looking at how many people who get to a website turn into a customer. So let's say 1 out of 20 website hits results in a new customer, and a click costs $10. That means it would cost $200. So 10 times 20 is 200. So $200 to buy 20 clicks to get 1 customer. So I know it's a bit confusing. We're going to keep going into this into a little bit more detail. But in simple form, if a new patient's short-term value is $500 and it costs them $200 to get them through the door, then that's a win because the short-term value is greater than the acquisition cost. So you want to make sure that you focus on helping businesses where the short-term value is higher than the acquisition cost. You want to make sure that a customer is spending more money on average in the short term than the cost to get them through the door. So, how do I estimate the acquisition cost? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what a sales funnel is because that's going to help us determine how to estimate the acquisition cost. So, the first thing you need to know is what the cost per click is. So that's how much a click costs on Google. The second thing you need to know is what's called bounce rate. So that's the number of people who get to a website and then leave right away. And let's just pretend for the most part it's because they're not interested. So they see the website and they don't like it. The third part of a sales funnel is interest. So people who get to the website, they browse around on the website and then go to the contact page to learn a little bit more. The fourth one is a lead. So for example, not everyone who gets to the contact page is going to call or email the business. So then the next step is the lead. And finally, the conversion from lead to new customer is the new customer. So let's take a look. Let's take a look and use the dentist as an example. Suppose a dentist, and I'm going to get my calculator out here. Where is this coming up? Here we go. Okay. And let's find the slide so we have it in the background. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Let's see. So, suppose a dentist has a $2,000 per month monthly budget, and we use Google's keyword tool, which I'm going to show you in a little bit later, but let's say we are able to determine that one click costs $10. So $2,000 divided by $10 per click gets us 200 clicks to the website. Now, suppose we have a 30% bounce rate. That means 70% of the people are going to stay on the site. So let's multiply 200 by 0.7 to figure out how many people stay on the site. So 140 people are staying on the site. Now, let's say out of that 140 people, 20% of them are interested and get to the contact page. So let's multiply 140 by 20% to get 28 people going to the contact page. Now let's say of the people who get to the contact page, let's say 50% of them like the hours of operation, are okay with the location, they look at the fees and they're happy with the fees, and let's say 50% of the people who get to the contact page actually call the office. So we're going to multiply this by 0.5. So we've basically, with $2,000, we've generated 14 leads, right? Now, let's say the receptionist does an average job and is able to convince 7 of the people who contact the office to come in as a patient. So 14 multiplied by 0.5 equals 7 new patients. Now, if we take $2,000 and we divide that by 7 new patients, we can see that the acquisition cost is $285. So you can see that in the slide down here, $285, right? We can also see that half of that, because of the 50% conversion, we can see that half of that would be what's called the cost per lead. Now, let's go back to the presentation here. Play from current slide. Okay, so 7 customers through 200 clicks is 3.5%. So that's just 7 divided by 200 equals 3.5. So we can basically determine that 3.5% of the people who get to the website become customers. And then we can calculate the acquisition costs like we just did. 2,000 divided by 7 new customers equals the cost per new customers. Now, if the short-term value of a new customer is $285 or more, this might be a good business to work with. So since we determined the short-term value of a new dental customer as $500 and the acquisition cost as $285, this is potentially a good business. So the next thing we need to do is we need to see if the acquisition cost is less than 10% of the lifetime value. So let's learn how to calculate the lifetime value. And by the way, if at any point this is confusing, send me an email. Make sure you look at the workbook, or I might put like a blog post or something like that, because I understand that this is confusing, but it really, really is important. So the first thing we just determined is that we want to make sure that the average customer is spending more money than the cost to get them through the door. So if someone's, for the dentist example, if someone's going to spend $500 in the first little visit, we want to make sure that we're spending less than $500 to get them through the door, right? Now, the next thing we want to check off is called the lifetime value. So the lifetime value is the amount of money that the average customer will spend over the course of their entire life. And if we want to get a little bit more detailed, it's the average amount of money the business will generate because of that customer. So the formula is relatively simple. You take the average spend per year, so 500, multiplied by the average number of years a customer will visit the business. So let's say the average is 50. Oh, I actually have an example coming up. So let's jump right into the example. So dentist example. Let's take $500 per year and multiply that by 15 years. So we know that the average patient will spend about $7,500 over the course of their lifetime. Now, the other thing we want to do is we want to know what the referral value is. So let's say the average patient refers the business to patients over the course of their 15-year life. Because the average patient is worth $7,500, we multiply that by 2, and we can see that the average referral value for each new patient or each patient is about $15,000. So let's say you buy one patient with advertising, you're actually going to get 2 more with referral marketing, and you can see that the average value, lifetime value of a new dental patient is $22,000 roughly, $22,500. Now, what we want to do is this number here has to be 10 times greater than the amount we're acquiring them for. So our estimated acquisition cost is $287, right? 10 times $287 is $2,870, and the actual lifetime value is $22,500. So the acquisition cost represents about 1.27% of the lifetime value. So this is a good vertical to be in. So what we're basically saying is that a customer will spend more money in the short term, in the first year, than the cost to get them through the door. And then they're also going to spend a ton of money over the course of the life because they have a long lifetime value and they're making referrals. So I hope that was I know it's a little bit confusing, but let's look at a demo. Let me show you how the Google keyword tool is so that you can start checking the search volume in different cities. So what we're trying to uncover is what verticals or industries might be good to enter. So let's do a live demo right here. So this is the Google keyword planner. And right now, I'm going to come back to this demo a little bit later, but let's look for a few different keywords here. So let's pick, why don't we start by picking my normal, so I'm from Vancouver, Canada, so let's start in Vancouver. So I'm just going to go to Vancouver here, and let's start thinking about industries that might be good to target. So let's save Vancouver, and let's type in dentist, let's type in personal injury lawyer. Let's type in, how about like a plumber? How about a gardener? Personal accountant. So these are all potentially good industries, right? Because people see their dentist for a long time. They spend a reasonable amount of money in the short term. Personal injury lawyer is not bad because there's a big payout, so the short-term value and the lifetime value is very high. You know, most car accidents end with $25,000 to a couple $100,000 settlements, so you know it's it makes sense to spend a few $100s to get, or even a few $1,000 if you're going to generate tens of thousands of dollars. Plumber might not be bad, gardener. These are all some examples. So the first thing I like to do is I like to look at different industries. So you can see personal accounting. Not a lot of people are searching for that exact keyword, but dentist is good. Garden, that's not a great keyword, just because I tried to type in gardener, but Google didn't recognize it. But plumber, personal injury lawyer. Now, on the right, you can see the top of page estimated bid, but this is where we can calculate this is where we can see the average cost per click. So now in the example I showed you guys, I said that a dentist is paying about $10 a click, and in Vancouver, the cost per click for a dentist is $16. So now the other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play around with different cities. So let's see how much a dentist costs in Toronto. Dentist click costs in Toronto. So you can see a dentist in Toronto, $14 for a click. So what we're doing, once we find a couple of verticals we like, or a couple of niches or industries that we like, what we want to do is we want to come to the Google keyword tool, and we want to type in a ton of different kind of relatively big cities. So this is Markham, it's near Toronto in Ontario. And look at this, dentist gets a lot of searches, so it's 1,300 people are searching for it, so it's a competitive keyword, but clicks are going to cost between $4.85 and $8.51. So like trying to find a dental customer in Markham might be good, but you can see that trying to find a plumber or a personal injury lawyer isn't a good example because there's not a lot of people searching for it. So what I want you to start by doing is I want you to start by thinking of different industries, and then once you have found an industry that has a lot of search volume, so let's just focus on one industry. I really just want to drive this point home, and let's look at a vet clinic, because dentist is a little bit close. I know all the dentist stuff, so the vet stuff I'm learning right now. So how about we just type in like vet clinic, animal hospital, vet, I don't even know how to spell, veterinary, I don't know how to spell, well, veterinary clinic. So let's find out those results. So let's say we're trying to determine whether vet is a good market for us. We can see that Markham isn't a good market. So let's try Toronto. And so what you're doing is you're coming up, oh, look at this, 720, so lots of people searching for animal hospital, cost per click, relatively low. So Toronto is a good market. Let's see if we can find another market. How about we type in New York, or like Manhattan, right? There's a lot of people in Manhattan, it's probably pretty competitive. I don't know how to spell Manhattan either. Let's just type in New York, it's easier for me. Okay, so 32 million, let's go for the city. Obviously we would want to narrow this down a bit, but you can see, again, quite a few people searching for these different keywords, and just a little over $10. So what I typically do, I mean, I've already picked my industry or my vertical as dentistry, plastic surgery, and then I do a little bit of chiropractor and physiotherapy, but what I want you to do is I want you to do some research on what industries you think would make the most sense to advertise in, and I want you to estimate the short-term value of a new customer and the lifetime value of a new customer using the formula. And then what I want you to do is sign up for Google AdWords so that you can use their keyword tool and start finding different cities where there are enough people searching on Google for the vertical that you've chosen. Now, if a lot of I start with big cities and then work your way backwards, but if big cities aren't searching for the industry or the niche that you've searched for, then you have to scrap it, because it's really, really important that you only focus on industries that where your kind of major cities are searching I always say at least 1,000 people have to be searching for the service in that city for you to enter that market. So if you're not sure whether what you're doing, whether this all makes sense, what I would encourage you to do is write down a few different verticals that you think make sense based on the short-term value, estimated short-term value, and estimated lifetime value, and then do some keyword research. And if you're not sure, send me an email and I will personally do the keyword research and let you know whether I think the industry or niche that you've chosen makes sense. So let's go back to the presentation here. So, who to consider? Consider private healthcare, so dentist, plastic surgery, physiotherapy, chiropractic, massage therapy, things like that. Think about professional services for consumers. Think about anything that has repeat business because that's lifetime value. Think about things where there's a high short-term value. So, for example, plastic surgery is good for short-term value because a customer might spend $8,000 to $10,000 on a new set of boobs or whatever. So high short-term value is really good too. And then the other thing you want to make sure you focus on is local businesses. So I don't want you focusing on e-commerce stores or businesses that have a global or a national reach. I want you to focus on localized sales because that's where search engine optimization works the best. Now, you might be wondering who you should be avoiding, and so it's pretty simple. Businesses that have a very small short-term value, so like restaurants or hairstylists, things like that, where you might spend $20-$30 in the first month or year. Those are bad businesses because we want to make sure that the consumer is spending more than the cost to get them through the door. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you avoid industries where Google is not the main search engine. So for example, people don't search for food very much, or like restaurants on Google, they go to Yelp for that, or hotels, they go to Kayak or Priceline or Hotwire, whatever your favorite hotel search engine is. So we want to make sure we use Google's keyword tool to make sure that people are actually searching on Google. Then the other thing is we don't want to work with kind of cheap or low cost pricing strategy businesses. So the business, if what people care about is the cost and not the quality, then it's not a great business for us. So a simple test is, can the business sell their product or service on Amazon? If the answer is yes, don't work with them. And then we also don't want you working with retail or e-commerce. We want you to work with service businesses. Now, what you need to do, your homework, is to find industries where it's, you have these customers who are spending, let's just say $500 or more in the first year, and that they're going to be spending thousands of dollars with the business over the course of their lifetime. And then you also want to make sure that when it comes to working with the actual business, that you work with the best businesses, but we're going to get into that. So make sure all three of the criteria are being met. So the summary, business to consumer businesses where the short-term value is higher than the acquisition cost, and then businesses where the acquisition cost is less than 10 times the lifetime value. And then in general, you want to work with businesses. We're going to get into this more, but you're going to want to work with businesses who generate at least $500,000 worth of revenue. So we've talked about the first mistake, which is just working in the wrong industry. Now let's talk about how you can provide actual results. So the second problem that most people make when it comes to starting an online business is that they pick the wrong industries as well as the wrong customers. So what I want to do is I want to teach you how to pick the right customers within the correct industry. So you are not selling your time. You are not selling clicks. You aren't selling search engine rankings. You're not selling management fees. You're not selling crappy leads. You are selling results. And results are basically delivering qualified leads to a business where that will translate into real revenue. If you are not helping a business make more money, then you're not helping that business. You need to make sure that you're helping the business grow because that's what they're paying for. They're paying for growth and results. And the other thing you're helping them with is just making the right decisions. So your job as an online marketer is to help businesses grow, and part of that is to consult for them. So you have to know how to measure ROI, return on investment. So you need to make sure that you can track how many calls and emails your marketing is generating, and that you need to make sure that that business is measuring where their customers are coming from and how much they spend. So what I wanted to do is I just want to show you the sheet that I send to every single one of my customers for them to fill out and send back to me, and it's a great way to hold me accountable. So Markham Dental, you're going to hear a lot about Markham Dental, but they're a dental office in Markham, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto, Ontario. Every month they send me a sheet, and I've deleted the phone numbers as well as the patient names for confidentiality reasons, but every month they send me a spreadsheet, and it shows how many calls or emails are generated. That way we can figure out the cost per lead, and then they can tell me if a patient didn't show or if they don't book through. But they also track how much money each patient is generating. Now, right here you can see that they generated close to $16,000 from 40 leads, right, or 39 leads. And so it really allows us to measure the results that we're generating. So if this person, for example, is spending, $5,000, $6,000 a month to generate $15,000 a month, that's a great short-term return on investment. So you 100% have to make sure that the businesses you work with are actually measuring where the leads are coming from, as well as how much money those leads are generating. So let's go back. So let's talk about how you can pick how to pick a dream customer. So I want to talk a little bit about Groupon because it's going to help shape what types of marketing are effective and not. So Groupon is the coupon company, and it actually shut down so many businesses. It's not funny. Groupon's argument or marketing strategy was basically sell a bunch of coupons at a significant discount where you get a customer through the door, and then as long as you do a decent job, providing your product or service, that customer would come back in for more business. Now, in theory, that makes sense, but the problem with that is that the people who were on Groupon were shopping for coupons. So they weren't actually loyal customers who were going to come back for more business. They just wanted to experience the business once at a discounted price and then move on to the next business and the next coupon. And so really what I'm trying to start talking about here is intent. When someone shops on Groupon, their intent is to find a coupon. So let's talk a little bit about Google and Facebook. When someone searches on Google, their intent is to solve a problem or purchase that product. When someone's browsing through Facebook, their intent is to find things that are social, to be engaged with their friends. So even when someone clicks on a Facebook ad, their intent is typically not to purchase. Their intent is to be social. And so when it comes to you helping businesses, I want you to focus your effort on helping those businesses generate clicks from Google and not from Facebook, because the people who click on Facebook ads are looking for a discount. It's very, very challenging for you to help local businesses grow through Facebook traffic, because those people aren't actually looking for the product or service and they expect a coupon. And so Facebook marketing for local businesses is a lot like Groupon. People are looking for coupons or might be looking for coupons, and they have a low probability of being a loyal lifetime customer. And so ultimately what happens is if you focus on Facebook advertising, which again is a good strategy for some businesses in some industries, but it's not a good source of advertising for local businesses where they are delivering professional services with a medium-sized short-term value and a big lifetime value. So here's my tip. Instead of finding a business and seeing how you can help them, find one industry and many cities where a program or solution will work. And then you want to replicate that problem or solution for 1 to 2 customers in each city. So, what program or solution should you sell? Remember, your customers only care about acquiring new customers and making more money. And the easiest way to deliver value at several $1,000s per month in revenue per customer is to use search engine marketing, where you make customers a conversion-focused website and then you drive traffic to that website. So basically what I'm telling you to do is clone my business because it's awesome. So search engine marketing, this is for dentists. So for example, dentists want qualified leads under $150. They want new patients for under $300, but most importantly, they do not want coupon cutting patients. So putting an ad on Facebook is not the best solution for dentists. Now, when will search engine marketing work? This is really, really important. So search engine marketing will only work when you're marketing in a city with a lot of people searching for a dentist. So that comes back to keyword volume. Cities where you can buy clicks for a low cost. So if the cost per click is like $100 and 1 out of 20 customers or clicks turns into a customer, you'd have to spend thousands of dollars just to get one new customer through the door. So that wouldn't make sense. So it's really, really important that you focus on cities where you can buy clicks for a low cost. Then you need to work on dentists or businesses who have a great receptionist and can convert leads into customers. So for example, I don't work with dentists where their receptionist doesn't speak good English. It's amazing how many dental offices will hire, like a immigrant or an accented receptionist where they don't do a very good job. And I don't want to come across as racist or anything like that, but at the end of the day, if your audience is speaking English and the person who answers the phone doesn't speak English well, you're going to be losing out on opportunities. So it's really important to have a dentist who is trained properly to convert phone calls and emails into new customers. And then it's also really important that you work with good dentists. Again, the real benefit to a dentist is the lifetime value of a patient, right? We did the math and we said it was around $22,000. But if the dentist sucks and the patients are experiencing pain and they're not happy with the bedside manner and things like that, that patient might only spend a few $100s in their first visit and then never come back after that. So only work with businesses who have 4-star reviews. So let's do a live demo here, and I want to show you what click dispersion is, so it helps you start to understand what strategies make the most sense. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Google, and I just want to show you, let's just start from scratch here. So let's go to Google, and I'm just going to type in Markham Dentist. So Markham, again, is a city near Toronto. We looked at the keyword research. So let's actually do the keyword research quickly here. So let's go to Markham, and let's find a bunch of different dental keywords. So when you're doing keyword research, you have to think about the keywords that people might be searching for. So usually you start with the service and then the city. So dentist Markham would be one keyword. Markham dentist would be another keyword. Dentist near me is always a good one. Best dentist. And then you might want to look for a few services that have a higher short-term value. So maybe cosmetic dentist, and then Invisalign, and then dental implants. So these are just some of the kind of the main dental services. So let's get some results here and see, let's see what we're working with. So you can see that in the city of Markham, 880 people are searching for Markham dentist, 590 are searching for dentist near me, 390 are searching for Invisalign. And then we can also see the estimated top of page click. So we can see how much money it would cost to get a click through the door. So this is showing you the monthly search for that keyword, and this is showing you the cost per click if you use Google Ads. So what I want to do is I just want to show you what a Google search result looks like, as well as where people click. So at the very top of Google, you have what's called your sponsored ads. Now, roughly 33% of people who get to Google or who search on Google are going to click on the very first section in the ad. So 33% of people click on the ads, and then of course more people are going to click on the very first one. I think it's about 53% of people will click on the very first one. Now the second part of Google is the Google Maps, and this is the Google My Business listing. And again, about 33% of people will click on the maps. Now obviously, if you have a lot of reviews, good reviews, you have a higher probability of getting clicked, so a higher click-through rate. Now, the final section is what's called the organic results, and about 33% of people will click through here, and then most of the clicks are going to come up in the top 3. I think it's something like 59% of people of that bucket of 33% will click on this first one. Now, Markham Dental is my customer, and you can see that if 880 people are searching for Markham Dentist, and she is coming up first in the ad section, third in the map section, and then first organically, she's going to be capturing probably close to 50% of these 880 clicks. Now, let's just do some math here. If 880 people are searching for the exact keyword phrase Markham Dentist, and we're able to capture 50% of those, we're going to be able to see about 440 clicks. Now, remember, 3.5% of people, roughly based on an average sales funnel that we do with her, and it's going to be slightly different for each customer, but 3.5% is usually a pretty good number, are going to convert. So what we want to do is multiply 440 by 0.035, and we can see that every month we're going to get roughly 15 new patients because we rank, or because we are coming up at the top of the ads, in the maps, as well as organically. So, click dispersion is basically understanding where people click. 33% of people click on the ads, 33% of people click on the maps, and 33% of people click organically. So it's really important that you pick the right keywords, the keywords that have a lot of search, a lot of people searching, and that you pick the right cities where there's enough people searching. So make sure that you use Google's keyword tool to do some research. And let me just read the slide here. You want to focus on industry-specific keywords in big cities, and you want to find both industries and cities that have a lot of competition, a lot of keyword volume, because that's where you're going to be able to show your customers value. Now, it's really important to note that you can't help everyone with search engine marketing. Your job, if you want to create a passive income business like mine, is to find the right industry and the right businesses who you can help and charge them each $2,000 to $5,000 per month. So, what are the qualification criteria for a new marketing customer? So this is the second mistake people make, is that because they're brand new, they just want to make some money, and then what ends up happening is they pick the wrong customers. to work with. So make sure you follow all of these different criteria when it comes to choosing a new customer. Otherwise, you're going to waste your time, you're going to waste your effort, and you're going to waste your energy on people who won't actually pay you in industries that don't actually benefit from search engine marketing. So make sure that you're working in a vertical that checks off all of our 3 required criteria. So that's from problem number 1. Make sure that you work with a business that is on page 2 or worse. Think about it. If someone's already ranking number 1 for all of their stuff, you can't actually help them. So what you want to do is you want to find businesses that rank outside of the top page of Google so that you can actually help them and actually deliver value. You need to make sure you work with a business that has a great product or service. So I would look at the reviews on Google and on Yelp and things of that nature, because if it's a shitty business, even if you get them customers, those customers aren't going to come back and then they're going to fire you. So you need to work with good businesses. Make sure that you work on businesses that have a higher quality product or service, because if it's just a low-cost price strategy, they will get crushed by like Amazon or corporate businesses eventually. So you want to find businesses who offer a premium product or service. And then I recommend that you only work with businesses that generate over $500,000 a year, because there's a higher probability that they have the budget for a few $1,000s a month. So I'm going to show you how I personally start prospecting to determine who I can work with. So let's start from scratch here. So let's say I'm looking for a new dentist. I've already decided my vertical is dentistry. Now what I want to do is I want to find a market where I can find a dentist. So I already have a dentist in Markham, so that's not a good example. So let's say I used to live in Austin, Texas. So let's say I want to see what the market is like in Austin, Texas. So first of all, you can see 7.24 million, so that's a great start. It's a nice, big, populated place. So what we're looking for is high search volume. So you can see 720, that's good. 6,600 people looking for a dentist, that's great. Now, what we want to do is find a low cost per click. Holy Moses, check this out. $32 for a click, $16 for a click, $42 for a click, $40 for a click. Now, if 3.5% of clicks turn into customers, let's see how many new customers we would get with a $40 click. So let's get the calculator out again. So let's say a dentist has a $2,000 per month marketing budget, and at $40 a click, we divide it by 40, so we can buy 50 clicks. Now, if we multiply that by 0.035, 3.5% of clicks turn into customers, we can see that we're only going to get 2 customers with $2,000, right? So 1.75 customers, so 2 customers for $2,000. That puts our average acquisition cost per new customer at $1,000. But remember, the average short-term value of a dental patient is about $500. So $500 to get a patient, $500 is what a patient is going to spend, but we're spending $1,000 to get them through the door. That doesn't make much sense, does it? So we can disqualify Austin, Texas as a city. So let's find another. So maybe let's stick around Texas. Let's see what Dallas, Texas has to offer. 16 million, perfect. Lots of people there. Let's see if we can find a cost per click. Again, you're seeing very similar cost per clicks. So let's find a different state. So what we would say here is that the online or the search engine marketing market in Texas, in the major cities in Texas, is too saturated, so too many people are competing, and we're not going to be able to help a business grow. So marketing on Google AdWords in Dallas and Austin is a bad marketing strategy, and we want to stay away from it. Again, our job isn't to find a dentist and say, how can we help you? My method is we find who we can help with a trusted and a proven system, and then we go get them. So I know this is a market I've been trying to get a customer in, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's take a look at them, because when I was doing some research on a market I wanted to be in, this market kept popping up for me. So you can see that the cost per click is a little bit higher since I last looked, but tons of people searching for a dentist, and you can buy clicks for just under $25. So let's do the math again, because I want you to see me doing it. And let's figure out whether Charlotte, North Carolina is a good market. Let's take an average $2,000 budget. Let's divide it by $25 for a click. So we can buy 80 clicks, and let's multiply that by 3.5%. And we're getting about 3 patients for $2,000. So that's still not great, right? Anyways, you can keep doing this over and over and over until you find the right markets, but hopefully that demonstrates how you can use keyword research to find the right verticals, the right industries, as well as the right cities to work with. Now, once you find a city to work with, let's just use Charlotte, North Carolina as an example. Let's say that's a good city. It meets our kind of cost per click requirements. Let's just type in Charlotte, NC, dentist, okay? Now what we got to do is we got to figure out who we can actually help. And our method is getting people to the top of Google. And we want to help them both organically and with Google AdWords. So what we want to do is we want to find the dentists who are not using Google AdWords and who don't rank here. So there's 2 things I like to look at. One is more places. I like to see who's ranking below them. And then what I want to do is I want to go down to page 2 of Google, and I want to see who is on the second page. So these are the people who might benefit from search engine optimization. So what I do is I push Command on my keyboard, and I open every single one of these websites to see who has a really shitty website. Because obviously if someone ranks on page 2 and has a really bad website, we can really help them out. And so I would go into page 2 and I would go to page 3 as well, and I would open like 100 websites on my computer, and then I would do the same thing in the maps. I would scroll down to like 10 or 15, so someone who ranks low on the maps, but we might be able to help them. And then I go to all of the websites. So this website, it looks pretty nice. It certainly doesn't look that old. So I'm guessing that they have already, and you can see they have like this website by Charlotte Social Media. So they already have a company that they work with. So there's a pretty good chance that even if I tried to get in touch with them, they would be uninterested because they already work with a company. Again, pretty good looking website, page 2 of Google, so we can definitely help them with search engine optimization, but they probably already work with someone. So if I reached out to them, they would probably not be interested. And I would literally just keep going to every single website between page 2 and page 10 until I find a website that sucks. So like, okay, this website looks kind of old. So I'm guessing that if I made this company a website, not only would I help them generate more conversions by having a better website, I could probably try and convince them to do some search engine optimization because they rank on page 2 or 3. Again, I would just go through every single website, find the shitty ones, like this one's pretty crappy, and then we'll talk, oh, this one's really bad. So that's how you do prospecting. You find cities where the vertical or industry that you like has a high search volume, and you go to page 2 and worse on Google. You open every single website, and then you find all of the shitty websites. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So determine the vertical and city, research the top keywords. Let's start that again. So you want to determine the vertical and city. You want to research the top keywords. You want to go through pages 2 to 4 or 2 and onwards and find 30 or 40 different websites. And then what you want to do is get rid of all the websites that are good so that you have maybe 5 to 7 really bad websites. And then what you're going to want to do is run a ranking report for the top keywords. So let me show you how to run a ranking report. I use a platform called Bright Local, and you can sign up for a free trial of this. So go ahead and do that, and then so then what I do is I pick all of the keywords and I run a ranking report so that I can see where the various business currently ranks. So let me find a ranking report here that I can use. Okay, so like M2 Dental was a company that I wanted to work with, and ultimately the dentist didn't have enough budget. But I ran a ranking report for all of the best keywords, and you can see that they don't rank anywhere for all of the keywords. So maybe they rank 13th or 26th or whatever. So once you find businesses that you want to work with, then you need to run a ranking report for them and then reach out with them. And you got to offer them a free trial. So you got to say, because you don't have the credibility yet to charge a business for your marketing services. So my suggestion to you is find a business you want to work with them for free, show them value, and then convince them to sign up after a couple months on a paid, basis. So you reach out to the businesses, you show them their ranking report, and you say, hey, listen, I just want to have a chat with you. I want to do some marketing for you for free. Let me show you that I can deliver results. And then you got to convert them to paid customers. So that's the process of going from having 0 customers in an unknown industry to finding a few customers in really good cities who should be happy to spend you a few $1,000s. Now, I can't stress this enough. Oh, let's get to the slideshow here. I can't stress this enough. You need to work with established businesses who have enough cash flow to invest in marketing. So I don't want you to go find a business, you spend hours and hours making them a website, and then you execute a free marketing campaign for them, you deliver awesome results, and then when it comes to them actually paying money for your marketing services, they're like, oh, sorry, we don't have the budget. So only work with good businesses who are established and who understand what short-term value are and what lifetime value are. And so in your virtual meeting, you need to qualify customers properly. So again, you've reached out to a customer, your goal, let's go back to the slide here, your goal is to set up a virtual meeting to the businesses you want to work with. Now this is huge value I'm giving you right here. I'm going to actually share with you right now a bunch of the questions you should be asking your customers during that, or your potential customers during that virtual meeting. So you need to figure out where they are, and then you need to make sure that you show them where they get to over the course of 60 days. And as a result of doing that, you're going to get them, you're going to be able to show them how much you help them grow, and then they're going to want to pay for that growth. So the first thing you got to ask them is how many customers they're currently getting from the internet. So, and how much money they're spending. So let's say you find a dentist who you want to help in Charlotte, North Carolina. You run a ranking report for them. You show them that they don't get any rankings, they don't get any clicks because they don't rank at all. And then you go through the math with them on what the short-term value of a new customer is, what the lifetime value of a new customer is, and they currently tell you that they're not acquiring any customers. Okay, so basically what you've learned is, as of right now, they are basically not doing well online. Your job in 60 days in the form of a free trial is to show them that you can get them patients through the door for a few $100s, and as a result of that, you're gonna help that business grow a tremendous amount over the course of their lifetime. So once you go through what the short-term value and the lifetime value of a new customer is, then you can set goals. So target cost per lead. So let's say we want to get a phone call or an email for $125. Target acquisition cost. Let's say we want to convert 50%, so $250 might be your target acquisition cost. And then STROI is short-term ROI. So let's say we establish the short-term value of a new customer is $500. That means the short-term ROI would be $250 or 2 to 1, right? The short-term ROI would be $2 back for every $1 invested. And I just made a mistake on that formula. If the short-term value of a new customer is $500, and then the the acquisition cost is $250, then 500 divided by 250 is 2 to 1. And then the lifetime ROI. So let's say we calculate the lifetime value of a new customer as $10,000, and we get that customer through the door for $250, then whatever 10,000 divided by 250 is your lifetime ROI. Now, in that virtual meeting, you have to make it very, very clear that your job as the digital marketer is to deliver leads and calls to the business, emails and calls. You as the marketer have to help the business get more leads. But you have to make sure it's very clear that the dentist understands that their job is to convert those leads into new patients, repeat visits, and referrals. Because it's very, very common even for me, where I will deliver, let's say, 50 leads to a business, but they only convert 10 of those into new customers, and then, they get upset with me that they only got 10 new customers. Well, it's like, no. If you did your job and converted 50% of the leads I gave you into new customers, you would have gotten 25 new customers. So you have to make sure that they understand what your job is and what their job is. Now, during the virtual meeting, because you've set goals, this is really important, because you've set goals, during the virtual meeting, you need to get commitment from them that they're going to sign up for more and that they will actually track all of the stuff. Because if you set goals and they don't do any of the tracking, then after the 2-month trial, they're not going to have any idea of the results you delivered, and they'll ultimately, if they don't feel a big impact, they might not sign up for you. So you got to get commitment from them that they will fill out the lead form and track how many leads that you're generating and how many new customers you're getting. And then, of course, you want to show them the current SEO rankings so that if you are able to help them generate or improve their search engine rankings, they can see that. And then this is really important, you need to get commitment from them that they would work with you. So use this line in your virtual meetings. If in the 60-day free trial, I'm able to show you $3 back for every $1 invested, or new leads at $150, or new patients at $250, would you be happy to continue working with me on a paid basis? Right? And so the reason you need to ask this question in the virtual meeting is because if you, as the marketer, can deliver good results and they still wouldn't be happy with good results, then you want to disqualify them and you want them, you want to move away from working with them. Don't work with people who aren't going to make good partners, because at the end of the day, this is a partnership. Now, after the free trial, you got to evaluate how good of a job you did and how good of a job they did. And the way you do that is by looking at that lead tracking form and figuring out how many leads you helped the business generate and what the cost per lead was, what the cost per acquisition is, what the short-term return on investment, what the estimated lifetime return on investment is. And you can basically evaluate the results and see whether you came up short to the goals you set, met them, or exceeded them. After the free trial, your job is to really, really close the deal with them. Now, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that when you build a customer a website during the free trial, you as the marketer own that website. So remember, you own the pay-as-you-go website. So if you do a good job and the business is like a dick and doesn't want to move forward, you can take that website that you own back from them. So the nice thing about owning the website of a free trial is that you have a little bit of leverage, which is if you show them good results during the free trial, you're going to kind of handcuff them into making a favorable decision or losing out on a great product that you've already built. Now, even after you do a good job, if they don't sign up on a monthly basis, you still want to somehow see some benefit for all of that hard work you did. So there's two things you need to do. One is you need to try and sell the business, the website you made for them. So if you make them a website, you sell it for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe they'll buy it, maybe they won't, but try to sell it to them. Now, if they don't buy the website, the other thing you can try to do is you can try to build a case study around that free trial and offer it to one of their competitors. So for example, let's say I find a dentist in North Carolina or in Charlotte, and I'm able to deliver leads to this website for $125, and the business was able to generate new patients at about $250. What I can do is I can find 5 or 6 other dentists in North Carolina and reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I started working with this dentist. We were able to get them leads at $125, new customers at $250. This is the website we use for them. But for some reason, they didn't want to continue working with us. What are your thoughts on trying this website out for your business? We can quickly change out the logos, change the colors. And would you be happy getting a lead? So what you want to do is leverage the work you've already done and try to kind of take the exact same results and sell it to someone else who is qualified in that market. So here's how I structure my monthly marketing agreements, and here's how you should too. So I don't always, but sometimes I'll give people, I have a good reputation now, so I don't have to give businesses the free trial, but I also like giving the free trial because it helps me acknowledge who a good partner to work with is. I don't like working for people who take up a lot of my time because I like passive income. So what I try to do is I try to find customers who are good partners for me. So I want to make sure that I'm a good partner to them and they're a good partner to me. So I usually give businesses a 30 or 60-day trial where the business has to pay the ad spend. So I usually do a $2,000 minimum budget for the AdWords trial. That way a business still has to invest a few $1,000s over the course of 30 or 60 days to actually get results. Then I do the pay-as-you-go website where I own the website and I rent it back to them. And then what I do is I get them to set a Google AdWords budget for a short-term return on investment or immediate return on investment. And I take a management fee. So if someone has a $2,000 AdWords budget, I take 30%, the other 70% goes to Google. So on a $2,000 budget, $600 goes to me for managing the campaign and $1,400 goes to Google for buying clicks. So that's the short-term strategy. And then the long-term strategy is the SEO. Now this is where I make all my money, really. I charge them $2,000 per month and I only pick a few different keywords, the best keywords. And then I outsource the SEO work. So now it's in-house because we have enough customers paying. But on a $2,000 contract, I take $1,000 and then I outsource the work for $1,000. And I literally am making $1,000 per month on SEO and I do virtually nothing. Maybe once a month I'll send them an email to let them know how the results are going. But that's great passive income. And then the other thing I do is I get them on a review service. So for healthcare professionals, if you decide to go to healthcare professionals, use a company called Connect the Doc. It's my brother's company, so that's nice. Or like Bird Eye, which is basically a platform that helps businesses generate and post reviews to Google. And then after the 30 or 60-day trial, I agree to a 1-year agreement and I charge them a premium if they want to go month to month. So let's take a look at what one of my invoices looks like. So this is just Markham Dental's. You can see I charge them $2,000 per month for SEO. Then I break the AdWords campaign down. So I charge them 30% of the budget. So they have like a $4,000, $5,000 budget. So I charge them $1,500 and I deposit the other 70%. I have the customer's credit card and I put it into Google myself. I charge them $550 for the Connect the Doc review system. And then I guess I gave this person a promotion where I give them the website at no cost, but I still own it, as well as a trackable phone number. And you can see that this is just one customer. They pay me $4,000. Of this money, a few $100s goes to Connect the Doc, and about $1,000 goes to my SEO guy. So I'm basically making $2,500 on this client, and I maybe put in a few hours a month of work to manage their Google AdWords. And I could outsource that if I wanted to. I find it pretty easy and fun to do the Google AdWords. So imagine being able to take this process and finding 10 to 20 dentists or vets or lawyers or whoever your target audience or your vertical and your industry and business requirements are. Just find 20 people, 10 people who will pay $4,000 a month. There's your $40,000 per month recurring revenue. Then outsource the work. Even if you outsource it at 50%, you still make $2,000 a month for doing nothing. Times 10 customers, that's $20,000 a month of passive income. So while I'm not opposed to like Facebook ads and Instagram marketing and all these other types of marketing, I find search engine marketing for the right businesses to be the best way to make passive income. And you can just see I have a note here. I use customers' credit card on Google AdWords, and I deposit the $4,000 or $5,000 a month, whatever we agree to, on the first of every month. So I just do everything. I put all of my recurring profiles on the first of every month, and it just keeps things nice and easy. Now, it's really, really important that you always actually provide value to the business and always under-promise and over-deliver. So if you think it's going to cost $150 to get a lead, tell the business you think it's going to cost $200 to get a lead. That way, when you get it at $150, it seems like you're doing well, right? And then like for SEO, tell them it's going to take a year or two to get them to the top of Google. And then when it takes them 6 months to a year, again, you've done a really good job. So make sure you under-promise and over-deliver. So the only thing the businesses you work for care about is generating more money by acquiring new customers, right? So we're not helping them with anything else other than generating more new customers and more new money. And since you don't have any case studies or any experience, what you have to do is you have to prove to them that you can deliver value before you make a penny off of them. And the way you do that is by offering them a free trial. You find your dream customers, you make them a website, and you set up their marketing at no charge. You show them actual value and results after 60 days. And then after you show them that, then you ask them to continue to work with you on a several $1,000s per month basis. So now you need to, how to pick the right vertical as well as how to pick the right customers and use a free trial. Now let's just talk a little bit more about like measuring the free trials and leveraging results. So problem number 3 is you need to learn how to measure your ROI and leverage results. And so let's talk a little bit about what results need to get measured. So you want to track SEO rankings because that's a tangible result. So let's say you start working with someone at the beginning of a free trial and they rank number 35 for the keyword. If after 60 days they rank number 20, you can show them that you improved 15 spots. So track SEO rankings. You want to track traffic with Google Analytics. You want to track leads with calls and emails. So that's going to be in 2 forms. One is you want your offices or your businesses to actually track leads internally, but then you as the marketer also want to have call tracking and email tracking set up so that you can, see how many leads you're helping the business generate. Because again, if they don't track the leads properly, it's going to make you look bad. So you want to take control. And then you also have to calculate the cost per lead, cost per acquisition, short-term return on investment, and lifetime return on investment. Once you measure the right things, what you can do is you can build a case study. So I'm going to go to I'm going to show you what my case studies look like. So I'm just going to go to my website. So you can see I've picked healthcare as my niche. I would encourage you to actually niche down even more and pick just dentists, just vets, just lawyers. Like, I want you to go super granular to start, and then you can grow a little bit from there after. But as you can see at the top of my web page, I have something called case studies. And you can click on the case study, and you can see that here is how I am marketing what I can do for a business. So we say we get 15 plus new patients each month. I give them a link to the website I've built, and then I have these cool little metrics. So you can see that this customer is generating $13 for every $1 invested. They're getting over 400 visitors each month. They rank number 1 for 8 different keywords. They're getting 14 times more new patients. Their website is seeing a 48% conversion, and they've generated 73 5-star reviews. Now, if you were a dentist and you saw these results, you would probably be interested in talking to me. Like, clearly I know what I'm doing. So what you need to do is you need to figure out how you can deliver results like this in a free trial. And then you want to build these case studies on your website and leverage them. And then the other thing I like to do is I show little screenshots on Google so that you can see where the customer is ranking. Now this has just worked well for me. These are just pictures. This has worked well for me, and it's really, really simple to send this link to a bunch of dentists. You know, maybe you spend an afternoon collecting 100 different emails, and then you send an email blast, hey, dentists in Charlotte, I just finished a marketing campaign for this dentist. These are the results. Let me know if you're interested in a 60-day free trial where I can show you the exact same results at no cost, right? So what you're doing is you're leveraging your results by building case studies. Now, the other thing you can do once you've built a case study is you can ask those customers for referrals, and then you have to incentivize them. So what I do and what I encourage you to do is to give both parties 1 month of free work. So for example, let's go back here. This business is called Angel Care Dental. If Angel Care Dental refers me a customer, then Angel Care Dental gets 1 month for free, so that's about $3,000 worth of value. And the person they refer gets 1 month of free, so that's another $3,000. So I'm giving up $6,000 worth of free marketing. But think about how much money I'm going to generate over the course of a life. If I'm charging a few $1,000s per month to each customer I work with, they're spending close to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year on average with me, and work, I don't even know what the lifetime value of a customer is for my business, but I've been doing this for 5-6 years, and most of my customers have been with me, that I don't have a lot of customers leaving me. Meaning that I have a lot of customers who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with me over the course of their life. When you think about it, giving someone a few $1,000s worth of free marketing seems like a very small price to pay for hundreds of thousands of dollars in future revenue. So make sure you leverage your happy customers by asking them for referrals and then incentivize them with a month of free work. So how do you leverage results? The other thing you can do, you can copy website templates. So instead of making a custom website for each of the, let's say, dentists you work with, make a dental website and then just clone that website for each dentist. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Every single one of my dentists, if you go to, I think it's actually this one, cosmetic. So I made this website. It's just on like a little subdomain here. So this is the website template I made. And I just put all of my dentists on this exact website. So here, let's look at a few of my customers. So here is the template I made. And then what I do is I just apply this exact same template to a bunch of different customers. So this is that exact website. I customize it a bit, but there's that exact same website for a customer in Vancouver. You can see. Then the exact same website for a customer in Markham. And then the exact same website for a customer in a different city, right? These customers don't know and don't care that the websites look the same, right? They're not competing with each other. It doesn't matter if they look the same. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically leveraging the work that I've done by creating like a kind of a dental theme, if you will. Now, you can basically apply the exact same strategies you use in AdWords, the exact same SEO formula, and you can also get averages for website copy. Now, once you get to 5 to 10 customers paying $2,000 per month, so you're making $10,000 to $20,000 a month in recurring revenue, what you want to do is you want to find someone to actually do all of the work so that for half of the amount, so that it turns into passive income. So if you're generating $20,000, pay someone $10,000 to do it all, and then you make $10,000 without working. So there's a few things you need to think about. One is you should consider bringing SEO work in-house. If you can find a good SEO technician, you pay them $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month, and as long as you're billing out more than that, any extra money you make is yours to keep without working. You can also offload work to virtual assistants or part-time employees. But what I would recommend doing is, at least what I do, is I am still a customer facing person. So if any of my customers ever have a problem, they still email or call me. But because I only work with 20 people, I maybe get 5 emails a month. So as you can imagine, it doesn't take more than a few hours a week to kind of solve those problems. So the 3 mistakes and the 3 things you need to focus on, we've talked about, but you really, really need to focus on picking the right verticals. Then you need to focus on picking the right customers within those verticals. And then you need to find those customers you can help, make them a free trial, do a good job providing value to them, and then leverage those free trials through case studies and continue to kind of grow organically through the case studies and then through referrals. So we've gone over a lot in this webinar. I still have literally no idea how long I've taken. I'm hoping that we keep this webinar under 90 minutes, but if we haven't or if we don't, I apologize for that. But let's summarize what you've learned in this webinar. You've learned how to pick the vertical, industry, and niche. You've learned how to screen businesses based on the short-term value, lifetime value, and acquisition cost of a new customer. You've learned how you can use Google and search engine marketing to actually help these businesses generate more money. You've learned how you can demonstrate value by offering qualified businesses free trials. You've learned how you can measure return on investments during the free trial so that you can convert the customers into paid customers. You've also learned how to leverage results by building and marketing case studies. And you've also learned how you can leverage your customers by asking them for referrals and incentivizing them with free marketing services. The last thing you learned is when to offload and outsource your work to turn your recurring revenue into passive income. Now, I spent a decade of my life, or just a little bit less than a decade of my life, millions of dollars in revenue and tons of mistakes learning all of these things. I really, really hope you got $5,000 worth of value there. And even if you don't feel like you got $5,000 worth of value, I think once you get started and you realize and you start learning some of these things on your own, I think you'll realize how much value you got. But you still don't know anything. So you might not know how to design a website. You might not know about like hosting and website maintenance. You might not know how to do SEO or create an AdWords campaign. You might not know how to like actually start your own agency. So like setting up the services and the legal agreements and like onboarding customers. You need to set up your invoicing and your payment gateway and your CRM. You might not know how to do the sales properly or how to outsource and offload work. Even though we went through a ton of stuff in this webinar, there's still a lot of things you need to learn how to do. And so you have two choices. You can either do it the hard way or the easy way. Now, the hard way is going to take several years of your life. You're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars in trial and error and in time, and you might not even see a lot of results, and you might get dejected and you might quit. And at the end of the day, the longer it takes for you to set up your own business, that means the more time you have to spend being unhappy. And it's going to take you longer to get time, location, and money freedom. So if you want to fast track your success, this is where I might be able to help. I've created something called the Cloud9 Academy, and it's a step-by-step online training program that teaches millennials with no design, coding, or marketing knowledge how to fast track their success to $10,000 a month in passive income. I estimate that if you work 8 hours or more each week, you can get there in under a year. Now, here is the roadmap to your success. It's a 9-course program. Each of these boxes represents a course. And basically the first course, I'm going to teach you how to be an online consultant. The second course, I'm going to teach you how to build a website without any coding knowledge. The third course is I'm going to teach you how to drive traffic to a website using search engine optimization in Google AdWords. That's this guy right here. The fourth thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set up your agency. Then I'm going to show you how to get your first few customers. We talked a little bit about that today. And then finally, in the hustle section, we're going to show you how to scale up your agency to over $10,000 a month. Now, once you get to more than $10,000 a month, we're going to show you how to build out a team or outsource work. Then I'm going to show you how to optimize the processes and the systems a little bit more. And finally, the most fun, I'm going to show you how, once you're making passive income, how you can start a business around your passion so that you are investing your time doing things you like. So what you have to think about is where you currently on the freedom scale. Do you have no freedom, some freedom, lots of money, lots of time and money? Most of you should probably be somewhere kind of, if you're watching this, like somewhere on step, like kind of pyramid step 1 or 2. And if that's the case and you're interested in like a proven system where you just do the work, you actually work hard, you follow the steps, then the Cloud9 Academy might be for you. So what's included? Well, it's a 6 to 12 month online training program that teaches you how to generate $10,000 a month in passive income. There's over 200 videos, PDFs, and resources. It is awesome. Like, I've worked so hard on this course. I've really put in every single thing I've learned over the last decade into it. I'm really, really happy with what I've come up with here. And the people who I've shared this with, it's very new at the time I'm recording this, but tons of people, or the feedback has been very good, and the few people who have signed up already are loving it. I also have accountability homework to actually make sure that you learn what I'm teaching you. You get sales support from me. So imagine this. I charge $500 an hour for my time, by the way, when I charge people for my time. But imagine you have a prospect who you're trying to enroll. I can actually talk to that person, with you and mentor you so that you actually close more deals. So you get sales support from me and my team. There's a private Facebook community. You get whatever version of the Cloud9 Academy is available, so you keep getting more like webinars, video training, resources, etc. And then this is pretty cool. I understand that it's really, really challenging to pick the right search engine optimization company. So if you join the academy, you can actually outsource your SEO and marketing work to my company. So that's something new, really, really exciting, and I can tell you with confidence that my company does a great job with SEO, and so you have access to the best search engine team around, and that's going to basically just guarantee that you have lifelong customers, which is awesome. Now, this has everything you need to copy my business, and I've generated over $2 million of revenue which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you knew how little I worked, it's actually pretty impressive. But more importantly, we did the math with my customers. I've generated more than $76 million of value. Now, you guys saw my customer list earlier. I only work with 15 to 20 customers. So the fact that I've created $76 million worth of value to them is pretty cool. The stuff I teach works. This is Joel. He's one of the people in the academy. Pretty cool because he has an MBA. Check this out. Even having an MBA, I learned a significant amount of information from Nash. And he basically says if he could do it again, he would have bypassed his MBA and gone straight to the academy. And Nash carries an uncanny ability to sort through the noise and teach you exactly what you need to know to build your own successful business. That's really what this is all about. It's about showing you like systematically, step by step, what it looks like. So let's take a look at the actual academy. I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. So 9 classes, over 200 lessons, and you can see it's a really, really detailed class. So 38 lessons in this. This is the first one. So this is just principles of online consulting. For some of the lessons, we actually have it written down. Some people are visual learners. Some people are audio learners. So we have a few different ways to communicate certain concepts. So you can see this one. That's just the welcome section. We go into business. We go into marketing. Like for example, I show you newspaper versus Google. Some of the lessons are only a few minutes long. Some of the lessons are a lot longer than that. Then after, you got marketing, important calculations, choosing the right niche. So that's the first course. Then the second course, how to build a website. Look at this, 40 lessons. I show you how to plan out the content, the sequence in which you need to build a website. Here, let's see. Getting started with WordPress. So like how to install WordPress, how to buy a host. I give you like links and stuff to buy things. Like the course is so detailed. You get literally everything you need to know. And then check out this one. This is like a live demo of me actually building a website. So you actually get to watch me build a website. I mean, this is a 37-minute long video where I'm literally showing you everything I actually do. And then like, I understand that I am not always the best person for everything. So I'm going to direct you to the best resources I've found. So here's a PDF from, this guy, Nick, who he shows you all of the different things you need to do before launching a website. So, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do a better job than that. So instead of giving you bad information or less thorough information, I also give you some resources for the best things that I've used. Now, the third class is how to drive traffic to your website. And you can see we go through an introduction to digital marketing, how to pick the right keywords, how to establish a strategy for a business, how to set up and use Google AdWords. And you get SEO and resources, and like I even will go a little bit into like some of the other SEO strategies and give you some other resources. You can see, I mean, this is just, it is such an awesome course. I'm so happy with what I've been able to do with it, and I'm just really genuinely excited. So course number 4, the first part of the course, the foundation part of the course, is all about giving you all of the tools you need to help a business. And then the hustle part of the course, you can see the amount of work a course load actually goes down as your homework investment goes up. So you're going to actually have to start, making your own website, buying a domain, picking a name, finding a few customers. So I'm going to show you how to start an agency. You're going to have to make an agency website, and check this out. You literally have to send me your agency website so I can go through it and make sure that you've done a good job. And then I go into marketing contracts, and look, you even get my marketing agreement. You can download my marketing agreement and copy it. I mean, I'm saving you thousands of dollars in legal fees, although I do recommend that you have someone who has some legal skills take a look at it just to make sure. And I show you the hosting agreement. I show you all of the stuff you need. It's it really is a comprehensive step-by-step. Now, the last thing with setting up your agency is I share with you how to do all of your legal stuff, all of your banking stuff, what softwares you should use, what payment gateways you should be using. You can see like FreshBooks and Stripe. And then I explain everything in a video as well. So you can actually see the invoicing system I use. Again, you are not going to have to go through the pain and frustration, the time and the money of doing all of this on your own. If you follow the steps in the academy, you're going to learn how to do it all on your own. Now, once you actually have an agency set up, class number 5 is how to actually launch your agency. So we've talked a little bit about this today, but I'm going to go into more detail about how you can set up a free trial. You're going to have a homework assignment, which is to set up a free trial page. And check this out. I even show you my free trial marketing page, and your job is to basically copy what I've already done. So I give you all of the resources and everything you need to succeed. And then a big part of the hustle phase is actually going through and doing the work. So you can see I've literally given you everything you need to do. You just need to copy it. So that's the hands-on learning that I will actually personally check. So you submit things to me and I will personally check them and give you feedback. So it's unlike any other online course because there's that human touch to it where I actually work with you and I kind of coach you through the process of cloning the business. Now you might be asking what's in it for me? Well, there's really a couple things in it for me. One is there is obviously a small fee to this academy, so I'm going to be making a little bit of money there. And then 2 is along the way, I also have some affiliate links. So for example, your hosting or your Shutterstock, if you end up making purchases through the academy, I make a couple bucks there. So that's why I go into so much detail, making sure you have everything, is because I really am motivated to make sure that you succeed, and of course I'm going to make a couple extra bucks there. And if you don't succeed, then I don't make more money. So I'm motivated to give you something really, really good. This isn't one of those very super automated training programs because there's a lot of work for me in reviewing the homework assignments and working with you. So it's not just only the online learning, it's also that access you get to me and my team, which is going to be important. I also have phone scripts and things like that, so you have everything you need to get your agency started. Now, once you have your first few customers, you're making $5,000, $10,000 a month. The next step is scaling your agency. So I'm going to go through inbound sales. I'm going to go through outbound sales. I'm going to teach you how to optimize your meetings and ask the right questions. So again, everything you need. Now, once you're making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, it's time to kind of outsource work. So you can see these next courses are very, very small. This is just a 23-minute PowerPoint where I kind of show you the pros and cons to different outsourcing, and I give you all of the resources. So a lot of the stuff becomes resources. So here are some of the, when you should be doing outsourcing and things like that. The other thing is I ask you to send me an email. When was the last time any of your instructors or any online training you signed up for actively asked you to give them more work? It just doesn't happen. And then at this stage in the game, I actually want you to book a strategy call with me so that you and I can work together on how we can take your business to the next level. So I'm going to make sure that you turn your recurring revenue into passive income. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to automate things and how to be more efficient. Once you have a team or people in place doing a lot of the work, it's really important to have the right software and tools and systems in place so that the communication between you and your team is flawless and that you don't lose any customers and you grow your business as a result of outsourcing and offloading. And then, of course, the final part of the academy, Cloud 9, by the way, dictionary definition of Cloud 9 is a perfect state of happiness. And really that's what this is all about. It's once you get to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in passive income, you're going to have all of the time and all of the money to do whatever you want. And so the last course in the Cloud 9 Academy is me teaching you some of the techniques that you can use to create a business around the thing you're actually passionate about. And let's take this full circle. You'll remember that the very first thing I said in the PowerPoint presentation was my philosophy is a bit different. So my philosophy is you should work hard for a year, build passive income in an industry or a vertical or using a method that you don't care that much for, you're not passionate about it. Like, so for me, I don't actually like making websites for dentists. I just know it's a really easy way to make money, and I only have to work a few hours a week. And then with the $40,000 I have left over every month, I invest that in either businesses or the market or traveling or whatever makes me happy. And so that's really the philosophy that makes me different. And I really hope you adopt it, because it really is a better philosophy than trying to start a business around a passion that may or may not succeed. And if it does succeed, it probably will take, many, many years. So let's get back to the presentation here. So let's talk about the pricing here. So a la carte pricing. So you see you get 9 different lessons or 9 different courses, anywhere from 3 to 40 lessons. Honestly, I don't know how to put a value on this program. My university degree costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. My parents were dumb enough to send me to a private school down in America that wasn't even very good. And this course is way better than my university degree that was 6 figures. I truly believe that you will get hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars worth of value from following my process. And I just put an arbitrary value of about $7,500 on it. And this course is going to get you to $10,000 a month in passive income in under a year if you do the work. So really $7,500 is a steal, but I totally get it. Not everyone has $7,500 to spend on training, especially if you're just getting started. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to come up with 3 different pricing plans where all 3 of the pricing plans get full access to the academy. So you can buy the 9 courses outright, and that will include any future content that becomes part of the academy. Obviously, I'm going to make sure it's the most up-to-date academy out there. So you'll get unlimited access to not only these courses, but any future versions. You get the yearly subscription. So the purchase outright option is $4,999. The yearly subscription is about $2,000, and that's, again, you just get every year. It'll just auto-renew. So my goal really is that you sign up, you crush out the work in under a year, and then you unsubscribe. And boom, $2,000, you have your $10,000 plus per month business. That would be an amazing option. So the yearly subscription is a great option. That's the best option for most people who are actually committed. But I also, at least for now, for the time being, I'm offering a monthly subscription too, where you get full access, but it doesn't include the guarantee. So this is for people who are a little bit less committed and just kind of want to test the waters. So the $10,000 money back guarantee. This is how confident I am that you will succeed if you go through the process. I know the system works. If you complete the training in order, so if you complete the training in the right sequence in under 1 year, if you submit all of your homework assignments and accountability exercises, and you invest at least 8 hours each week on the academy, so on either the homework, on watching the videos, on doing the exercises, and you don't generate at least $10,000 of revenue within a year of completing, I will either refund you your money or I will personally coach you until you get $10,000 in sales. So basically, I'm guaranteeing a 2-to-1 return on investment if you sign up for lifetime access, or a 4-to-1 investment if you sign up for the yearly access. The only catch here is you actually have to do the work. I mean, I'm obviously not going to refund you if you're too lazy and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and that's exactly why we have these accountability things in place. But here's the catch. I know if you do the work, you're going to get to $10,000 a month in passive income. So when you get to $10,000 a month in passive income, or you cross your first $1 million in sales, I want you to send me a video testimonial of you enjoying life and having fun, and telling everyone that the academy is awesome. Because honestly, if you do the work, you are going to succeed. This is a very, very simple process. It requires very, very little intelligence or skill set. Like I teach you how to do everything, and it's all very, very simple. You just have to follow the process and actually do all the work. That's the main thing. Now, I am a new academy out there, at least at the time I'm filming this. I only have, a dozen or so people enrolled. And while the feedback has been really good, I understand that some of these other people out there have, thousands of enrollees and things like that. So what I'm doing is I'm offering all of this stuff at a 50% discount. So use the coupon code EARLYBIRD50 and you'll get, the first 50 people will get 50% off. Now, I'm using two different payment gateways for this. So depending on how you got to this webinar, you might not even need to enter in that early bird code. But if you notice the pricing is this $4.99 or $2,000, just let me know and I'll let you know if you're one of the first 50 people. If you're the 51st person, kind of you snooze, you lose. So make sure if you're interested, make sure you just sign up now. And then with that discount, I know how much value you're going to get out of this academy. I kind of think I'm selling my soul here for $2,500 or $1,000 a year. Considering if you do what I tell you to do, which is all pretty simple stuff, you're going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. So really, really good value. Hopefully I demonstrated in this webinar that I know a thing or two about what I'm doing. And just as an extra bonus, if you sign up for the yearly or the lifetime subscription, it does come with a 7-day free trial. So sign up for it, check it out for 7 days, and if you're not happy, just unsubscribe. So if you have any questions or if you weren't happy with this webinar and want to activate the $5,000, if you don't feel like you got $5,000 worth of value, send me an email. You can email me directly. And also, I'm a big fan of feedback. If you made it all the way to the end of this webinar and you don't want to give my program a 7-day free trial, I'd love for you to just email me and let me know why. I'd like to see where I can improve or what you think the academy needs that it's not getting. So the next step would be to go to the sales page and to pick the subscription option that you like best, and then just sign up and shoot me an email, give me a call. I'm really eager to get to know you, learn more about your goals, and kind of be there for you to help you along your journey to financial freedom. So that's all for this webinar, and we will see you in class.